So that's something to consider. So Tekken 7 technically has the biggest roster of any Tekken game so far. Yeah. So Heihachi, I think is like he's dead, right? But they'll probably bring him back. There's no way they're gonna leave Heihachi out. So they're probably gonna bring him back. Can I make the background dark so you can see my? Oh my god, what did I just do? I think I fucked up. Cause you can't. Okay, we'll put the chat in, like on the tier list. Nah, that's shit. But like he's dead though. They're just part of the story. Asuka never. No, listen, there's so many weebs tricking up to Asuka, right? So she's guaranteed. And Kazuya is 100% coming back, right? He's still alive. He's in the story. He's gonna have some weeb shit with Jin in the next game, and Jin same reason. Akuma is probably never, because I think they learned with Akuma. The backfired. Akuma completely backfired. So I think they're never going to bring this character back. Scared for Julia? Nah, Julia got enough playtime because she's so cheap. So she's definitely coming back. Lars is guaranteed. He's too popular, I think. And he still has a role in the story anyway, so. Alisa, I think there's too many weebs screaming over Lisa, so yeah, she's guaranteed. Horang, he's way too popular, he's guaranteed. Devil Jin, I wouldn't say not guaranteed, but probably. Because Devil Jin is actually nothing, right? Like, he's nothing. Like, Devil Jin doesn't do anything anymore. Like, what's his role in the story nowadays? Like, in Tekken 5, he was, like, kind of relevant. But in Tekken 7, he just has a thing with Horang, and that can just totally be written off. Dragunov, he's really popular. I don't think Dragunov will ever not be in the second game from now on. Paul is guaranteed. Law is guaranteed. You can't have a game without Law. I think Bob could be in the possibly. I think he could be in the possibly tier list. That sounds about right for him, right? Because I don't think Bob is popular at all. Like, people only play Bob in 6 and Tag 2 because he was easy on Brain Dead. But since he's not, well, he's still easy, but he's not like super cheap anymore. So he's obviously a lot less popular. So I think even probably not here as well. I'm surprised he made it back in this game. Actually, I'm actually surprised he made it back in Tekken 7 because there's a lot of like kind of hate for the character. I think in Tekken 6 and Tag 2. Brian, I want to say not guaranteed, but probably. Okay, let's say Eddie summoned. Not guaranteed, but probably. Let's say this is base roster. Yeah, I think that's fair to say. Let's say this is base roster. And this is... Let's just say these are like maybe DLC characters or not at all. Steve is guaranteed. Maybe probably base roster as well. I think these will all be base anyway. Brian is Tekken Season 10. Hopefully, don't have to deal with him. Nina, there's never a Tekken game without Nina. Same with Lily and Asuka. There's too many weebs chacking themselves all to these characters, so Brian not in base. Okay, maybe shouldn't you say base? I mean, there's gonna be a lot of characters in this is the thing. This is the problem with having so many legacy characters, that there's so many that you just can't leave out. But for the sake of a smaller roster, you kind of have to. I think Lily is insanely popular. No way, no way. Could return or will return. Yeah, this word is shit, to be honest. Arcade release. Base roster arcade, yeah. I say console or season 1 DLC. Later DLC. And then probably not the network. Okay, I think that's good, right? Base roster, like arcade, console, or season 1 DLC, later DLC, and then probably not network. That's fair, right? I think Shai is base. You can't have Fang. Like Fang is not popular. Fang is not popular, I think. I would say probably not for Fang, actually. Like, this character is literally not popular. They don't even use him in Korea. If I heard a story that in Korea they don't use Fang because he's ugly. That's not even me saying it. I literally heard this in Green Arcade Tag 2. They don't use Fang because he's ugly. Dev bias. Okay, maybe later DLC. Maybe later DLC. Maybe later DLC. Leo, I would say later DLC. I don't think Leo's popular. I don't think Leo's popular character. Yeah, Jordan, we're going through them in order of here. I don't think Yoshi is coming back. I forgot to play on music. Yeah, Yoshi's guaranteed, yeah. But when though? Console or arcade? I think Dragunov might be... I have a feeling Dragunov might be a console character. Like, to sell a season pass, you want a popular character, right? To sell season passes, you want a popular character. So that's why you gotta save some of the popular characters for... Like, for example, like some popular historical characters. So, for example, Julia in Season 2. Season 3 was kind of bombed the barrel a little bit, though. King is base. Yeah, you cannot have King. I have a feeling Nina will be later. I have a feeling Nina might sell a season pass. Like, she'll be like console or later. Lily could be later. Can you imagine the Lily fans on Twitter if Lily was in the base roster? Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine? Jack, I think, isn't that necessary. He is in, but like when? I would say it'd be like the next version of the game. Yo, Silas and Aiden. Katarina is probably not gonna happen. I think Kasumi, she's gonna be like a June. Her role in one game is done, so I think probably not for Kasumi. Ika's likely, like I love her, and she's my favorite newcomer, but she was not well received, I think, at all. Because I don't think she's coming back in the next game. Gigas is not coming back. Claudio he's in the story. He's deep rooted in the story. He's deep rooted in the story. Like Claudio, I think could come back. Shaheen has a chance, I think. You guys think Karina could return? I don't think she was well received at all. I think Shaheen might be because I think they want to cut down the roster in Tekken as well, because 7 was bloated as fuck. So I think they're going to try and make it smaller. So I think probably not for Shaheen. I don't know why, but I just have a feeling they're going to reboot Tekken-ish story-wise and cut the roster down a lot. Josie, I want to say later, maybe not our later DLC. Raven was never popular. Raven was, I think, if I remember, Raven was always the lowest in each game. I would say if they're gonna bring Raven back, they're gonna bring male Raven back, maybe. Because Kunimitsu, yeah, exactly. Because I think Kunimitsu might replace Raven as like the female ninja character. Chloe, I would say probably not. Or maybe Chloe was kind of popular, right? And she fills in a niche of like just super weepy character for that audience. Over Christine Montero. Ask the stands. Yeah, maybe maybe later DLC for Chloe. Thank you, Nikita. Lily, Asuka and Lily are like guaranteed, I think. Paul Law is guaranteed. But it's just a matter of when, I think. Eddie was not popular. But you can't not really have a capo in Tekken. But you have to go in the perspective of maybe they want a smaller roster, so will a capo return at all? So I have a feeling later DLC for Eddie. But you have to get into mindset, not every character has to come back. Even if they're a legacy character, not all of them have to come back. Like, think about it. Like, we had, before Tekken 7, we had Tag 2, which had every character. But they add on a lot more in Tekken 7. There's a lot of newcomers in Tekken 7. Like, in Tekken 6, there was only 6 newcomers. And they all made it back for Tekken 7. So you can't have all the Tekken 6 newcomers to come back and all the Tekken 7 newcomers to come back. You know, there's going to be a lot of characters cut. So, like, in Tekken 7, we have like 40. Is it 49 characters we have in Tekken 7? Eliza, I won't say probably not. Miguel is... I don't think Miguel is popular, is he? Don't even entertain the thought. Listen. People only play this character because he was cheap. And when he's not cheap anymore, he was barely played. I think that just speaks for itself. How you doing, Salsa, anyway? Yeah, I would say probably not for Miguel. But I think they want to keep some hype characters for Season 1 DLC. So that's why I put Dragunov in there. But it's hard to... Gorge, I guess. Maybe swap Nina and Lisa. I think that could be good, right? So keep Alisa at this style of season pass. But she doesn't need to be in the base roster. Lee. Is Lee a base character worthy? What Tekken was Lee not in? 3? Just 3? Just 3, yeah. I said Lee could be here, right? Console or Season 1 DLC. No, Lee was in... He was in Tekken 1 and 2. Violet, right? And... Fuck, that's loud. Thank you for the follow. Bears. Now, the bears are weird because they've been in every game, I think. Technically, they have been in every game. I know there's like Kuma 1 and Kuma 2, but technically bears have been in every game. But they're still so disregarded though. I would say later DLC for bears. Like, they're still gonna make it, but they're not priority. Like, they'll still make it, but they're definitely not priority. Do I really think Tekken 8 will have less characters? Well, I mean, it can't be more than 7, because 7 is insanely bloated. No, buy them. Or maybe this is... Honestly, my wording is not that good, I think. I think I need better criteria. Yeah, I think Geese is not coming back. Not this is not coming back. Sorry, Bolt. I would say Lei is like later DLC at best. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, kinda. Yeah, Negan is gone. Negan is just not coming back. Anna, listen, I want Anna back. Anna better be in base roster. But she probably is later DLC. I think Gangry is not coming back. Listen to my head, not my heart. This is difficult. Marduk. I don't think Marduk is so necessary to come back, right? I don't think Marduk is so necessary to come back. Like, I'm not trying to make this a wish list. I'm trying to like be like realistic. Yeah, if Anna's not back in the game, who will the gays have? Probably Lily right after her. I would say later DLC for Murdoch. Claudia's part of the main story, yeah, but he can be like a console character. Like console can still like be guaranteed, but just later. Like these characters would be like priority, like #1 priority to return, to sell like Tekken-ish vanilla version or whatever. Is Armor King popular? I keep hearing he's popular, but I don't actually see any hype for him. Is Bob actually popular in Japan? So, a console or Season 1 DLC character? DLC round 1? Okay. Julia? I mean, there has to be a Chang in every game. Like, I don't know about you guys, but when Julia was revealed, I cried for her. So she better come back. Like, there's a Chang in every game. What's the music playing? This is Tekken Side Tournament. Listen, Julia's probably not. They seem to love her right now, yeah, for the wrong reasons. I would say later DLC for Julia, but I think she is popular. I think she is popular. You got to pay for how cheap she is. Listen, shut up. I would say console or season 1 run for Julia. Bakuman? I mean, he's so tainted. Do people want him to come back? It's like Leroy, like cool design, but just ruined. Never for Bakuman. Fuck is Murray's favorite. Let's say they kept Bob and Loris. They did. But the thing is, they can't just keep everyone. That's the problem. They can't just keep everyone. Consider there will be newcomers in Second Day as well. So they can't bloat up the roster too much. So even some of these characters, some of them might have to go. In the tier 2 and 3, some of them might have to go. So they can't just bring back a lot of characters and then add on newcomers. Or even bring back some of the characters that are not in 7, like Wang, Beck, Roger, Mokujin, June. Let's say later DLC at best for both of them. Let's say later DLC for both of them. You think they'll come back properly? Season console or season first round? But how will you sell Leroy and Bakuman as DLC? Considering the stigma they had in this game. Yeah, I'm kind of seeing the reasoning for base now, to be honest. They're played a lot because they're cheap. They're the best design. Yeah, I don't think Namco really cares about that kind of thing. Gangryu? I would say probably not for Gangryu, right? I would say probably not for Gangryu. What about June? Like, I don't want to be biased, because June is like my second favorite character of all time. But I think June would be in the base roster, and to kickstart the Tekken 8 story. I think she will kickstart the Tekken 8 story. Like, she'll come back and then kickstart it. It's either, right? It's either. Like, June's gonna be base roster or never. I think there's no in between. But if June's gonna be in the base roster, what will that mean for Asuka? Shit, I didn't think about that. If June's in the base roster, what does that mean for Asuka? She will be in, but I think actually, why would June come back? Because she's sick, okay. But But I think Asuka will sell a season pass. I think she'd be like the star of a season pass because she's so popular. Herrera just told you, okay. Yeah, I think Asuka will be like the star of a season pass, I think. Can't have Lily with it, Asuka. Well, maybe Lily just learn to fucking live by herself and do her own thing. If finally. Yeah. Listen, I won't even talk about Lily Asuka storyline. That's a whole nother topic. I get so tilted at that shit. I think Safina is probably not. But if Safina doesn't come back, that means we have to listen to the Safina stands again. We have to go through that arc again. Imagine Lily DLC. Yeah, I think Lily players might be worse than Safina players, to be honest, for the character. I think Kunimitsu is likely. I actually, because they revamped the character, and she's really well received. Like, she's not here yet, but she's really well received so far, and they revamped her as well. So I think she has a spot for the next game. Before release too, yeah. But I mean, that's why I have him somewhere here. Like, I think he'd be well received again. Like, the design is great, but the gameplay is just toxic. That's the problem. Honestly, if Kuni's cheap, I'll actually laugh. I actually just laugh. They're just going through the whole cycle again. June is not on this list, so I can put Asuka up. Listen, sometimes you just have to save the best for last. You know, it doesn't take away from Asuka's value. So I think, because the June and Asuka fan base is so like overlapping, that if June was to return and Asuka later, I think most Asuka players would be happy to play June in the meantime. And then Asuka can be like Season 1 DLC. I love June, like, she's my second favorite character. I have June emotes. I mained her in Asuka June, I mained her in Tag 2. And I need to see the Asuka reveal. I need to see it live. I'm gonna be one of those Asuka Twitter Kents spamming her out. Yeah, but I still played June for years and years in tournaments before Julia. Okay, I think that's okay, right? I think that's kind of makes sense. This is like all guest characters and Katarina Gigas. Yeah, I think that's all okay, right? I think that's all okay. No one will buy a bear DLC. Where do I have them here? But later DLC, but also unlikely, right? But also unlikely. The goddess Chloe should be in. Put Leia on console. Ollie would buy it. Anyway, I know everyone has their own opinions. Anyway, this is my opinion, so deal with it.